ETV Endowment Video, Take 1.
My name is Adair. I'm an intern at South Carolina Educational Television in the content section in Columbia. I'm a rising junior at the University of North Carolina School of the Arts, where I study filmmaking. I wanted an internship where I could work on meaningful projects, and South Carolina Educational Television Endowment Internship has really been that perfect fit for me. I get to do anything from research and then interview people. Something that's unique about this internship and that's different for me is learning the way that TV works. So I'm used to making short films and learning filmmaking at school, but here we're learning about how episodic TV shows are made, because that's what we're working on, and an episodic web series, which is something that I've always wanted to explore, but I've never gotten the chance to. I would say the key to this internship is to apply early. Go ahead and start looking at internships in your fall semester of college, because they're going to be gone before you know it.
My name is Boulet, and I'm an intern at South Carolina ETV. I work specifically with South Carolina Public Radio in Columbia. I'm a rising senior at North Greenville University. My major is broadcast media. I was very unfamiliar with the way hosts at South Carolina Public Radio did their voiceovers. Public radio is far more professional. Your enunciation is extremely important, making sure that every word flows smoothly from one to the other, transitioning from one idea to the next. It's all got to be perfect. There is a lot of overlap between ETV and a lot of what PBS does, and when I realized that they broadcast similar programming and they have a focus on educational programming that really serves to inform people but also enrich their lives, that sounded really interesting to me. Especially in a world where news media is incredibly controversial, it's interesting that a lot of people put a lot of trust in NPR stations. And South Carolina ETV and South Carolina Public Radio is such a huge part of that. The ETV internship is more varied than you expect it to be. It throws you in a lot of different scenarios. You get to do all different kinds of stories. You get to work with a bunch of different types of people. It'll broaden your horizons and show you there's a lot more to South Carolina than meets the eye. What they're looking for out of you is for you to be yourself. Show who you are as a person. Show your passion for media. You don't have to hide that. You don't have to constrain who you are. They are looking for someone who has an unfiltered passion and love for this media and what you do, and they want to tap into that for the work you do as an ETV Endowment intern. For South Carolina Public Radio, I'm Boulet.
My name is Sarah Pritchard. I'm an intern here at ETV in Columbia for digital media. When you're looking for an internship, you want something that is going to push you to learn new things. I guess I was just kind of looking for something that would challenge me. So don't be afraid to speak up, because at the end of the day, everybody is here to help you. It's not really like you're an intern. You're being treated like a regular employee.
Hi, my name is Eli Saliba. I'm interning at ETV Lowcountry in Beaufort, South Carolina. I'm a rising senior at College of Charleston, and I'm a communications major, minoring in film studies. When I applied for this internship, I really wanted to be able to get all the hands-on experience that ETV offers through videography department and all their other opportunities that they give. Some learning curves that I was kind of thrown into was TV production in general. It was really fast-paced in the beginning, and I don't know if I was expecting that right off the bat, but I think in the end it was really a great experience getting to be able to get thrown right into it rather than easing into it, because that really is how this career path is. And I had always been like a short film guy who just does short films on the side with his buddies, and there's going to be mishaps and there's going to be mistakes that are made, but it's all part of the learning process, and I've definitely learned a lot. Some advice I'd give to future ETV Endowment interns is just to take advantage of all the opportunity and freedom ETV gives you in the creative side and on the learning, educational side. They kind of guide you in directions that take you out of your comfort zone, but they also show you really fascinating things along the way.
My name is RoseCatherine James. I'm an intern at ETV in Rock Hill, South Carolina. So I am a broadcast journalism major at USC in Columbia, and I'm a senior. I didn't want to intern at a typical news station because of the way that traditional news organizations have kind of set themselves up with being less bipartisan and more leaning towards one side or the other. So finding somewhere that really hit a middle ground was really important to me because that's the type of environment that I ultimately wanted to work in. Biggest learning curve that I had was figuring out a new way to tell stories. So it's not reporter track, soundbite, reporter track, soundbite, reporter track. It's all the interview. So figuring out the right way to ask questions to get all the information I needed, because I'm not supplementing that with my own voice. I usually end up having to take the piece from the very end of the interview, and that's what starts the interview. So mixing all of that together was challenging to learn, but I think it's a more rewarding way to tell a story, but it's not something they teach you in class. It was very interesting to be able to learn that on the job. The advice I would probably give to interns would be to dive in head first and to do as much as you can. I wasn't so much really assigned a whole bunch of tasks. It was my going out and finding stories to do. So, if you only want to do, 2 or 3 stories, I mean, you could do that, but it would kind of feel like a wasted opportunity, because you can go out and, really find your voice and find what kind of stories you want to do, but only if you take the initiative to do so. Telling stories different ways, telling different kinds of stories, learning how to edit. I think you're really gonna get the most out of your internship, which is gonna help you in class and then help you in your career later down the road.
My name is Wardlaw, and I'm a senior journalism major at the University of South Carolina. I'm a radio intern at ETV for the South Carolina Public Radio. I didn't really have any experience in radio. Learning how to use the board, the soundboard, and the software, I feel like I have a lot of credentials for regular print, or what you would call, I guess, multimedia, but now if I maybe want to work for the radio one day, I have learned this equipment, the software, and really all I would need to do, and then the reporting and the journalism is down. Really all I would need to do is just keep practicing that voice.
My name is Murphey White. I'm an intern at the Columbia location of SCETV, and I intern in the content department. I am a rising senior at Western Carolina University, and I'm a film major. So a big learning curve for me was the editing style of TV, and specifically the web series that we make, like Palmetto's Scene and Backroad Bites. Because in film, and filmmaking specifically, it's linear. It's Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, but in these web series, you put the interesting part first. Like the paper you're writing is where you put the thesis in the very front, so it's like a hook for the viewer. And so that was something that, it's not like it was hard to get a hold of, but it was just something new, and it was something different. But once I got used to it and started doing it more often, I ended up, it was really quick, and I felt really comfortable with it. Some advice I would give to future interns is don't be afraid to let your creative side show. Don't be afraid to say, hey, what if we did it like this? Or hey, what if we wrote it like that? Because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for your input. They're looking for your ideas. This internship is really competitive, and they're looking for the best, they're looking for the brightest, and they're looking for the boldest, and that's what you are to them. You were chosen because of your ideas and because of what you could bring to the table. So don't be afraid, don't be nervous. You're gonna do okay.
My name is Sean, and I intern at the News and Public Affairs Division at the Columbia location of ETV. I'm a rising senior at Syracuse University, and I'm a broadcast digital journalism major. I really wanted to make sure I had the skills necessary to work in journalism, whether that, behind the scenes or being a photog out in the field doing a story. Regardless, whatever it is, I knew I could get that kind of experience right here at what is probably the best journalism institution in the state of South Carolina. I knew I needed to have some kind of internship this summer, and I kind of wanted to stay close to home. I've been born and raised in the Midlands of South Carolina, and so I finally reached out to the website, I sent in my application, and I ended up here. Typically during the summer, I've edited video, I've gone out and I've shot footage, I've interviewed people, I've really done anything you can think of in journalism. My favorite part of the summer so far has been working the South Carolina Democratic Convention. It really was up to me to go get all the footage, to capture the atmosphere of that weekend with. And really, as a political nerd, it was really exciting to see all these people right up close and personal and getting to interview all these people, all these delegates there. That really was by far my favorite part, especially because there were so many national people there too. I was sitting next to people from CNN in the media room. I was sitting next to people from the Washington Post and other really talented journalists here in South Carolina too. My advice to future interns is just enjoy your summer you have, because you're not going to get experiences like this many other places, to go travel around the state, see all sorts of different cool things, and to experience those and to get really, as I've said, hands-on knowledge and experience. That stuff you don't get elsewhere.